Oh, hey there, Easy Agent Pros. I was just sitting here reading my newspaper. Just kidding, no one reads these anymore. I was at Starbucks the other day. I swear I didn't even see a single newspaper around. Anyway, what we're going to be talking about today is how two real estate billionaires who back in the 90s used to get newspaper headlines written all about them. In fact, you've probably seen them both in the headlines today and this last week, Trump and then you got Barbara Corcoran, both out there, billionaire real estate agents, moguls, investors and everything. But how do they do it? How do they get the newspapers to write about them and sort of help build their business for them? It's this little thing I'd like to call media arbitrage. So if you look at the media out there, maybe you're sitting there in Iowa, or you're sitting there in Kansas, Missouri, one of those flyover states, and you're like, oh, he's talking about media, this stuff doesn't have anything to do with me. Just hold on a second, it actually does. What we're gonna get into today is one thing that is really working online really well, and people are actually reading it 30 times. Yeah, you heard that, 30 times more than they are text, than they are video, than everything else. And it's just because it's really engaging. It gives people data points, which people really love. And that's data is actually how Trump and Barbara got on the newspaper. And what we're going to do is show you how to create these things on your website for cheap every single month so that you can start to become the agent that maybe the local newspapers, the local blogs, the local websites where people are actually focusing start recognizing you. So you'll notice if you walk into Starbucks, you walk anywhere, people are just on their phones left and right. Like you can access anything from here. You can access Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, and people are always telling you to get on Facebook, get on ads. But what they never tell you to do is what to put on those mediums to start attracting more attention. And one of the things we're seeing at Easy Agent Pro is that people pay attention to infographics 30 times, right? Like we'll put a big number here, 30 times more likely to pay attention to your infographic and actually read it than if you were to write the same stuff, the same data points, everything in text, right? And so that's highly, highly effective. And the cool thing is you're actually now mentioning these data points, which back in like the 90s and 80s when Barbara and Trump were getting their start is actually what they did to be successful. Actually, I got a book here for you. I was reading Barbara's book the other day, and if you go, I think it's chapter right here on page 125, she started this thing called the Corcoran Report, which is exactly what I'm telling you to do right now with infographics, and I'm going to show you in the later half of this video how to do that for like $5 a month. And that Corcoran Report actually got her mentioned on the New York Times, right? She's getting mentioned in the New York Times next to other real estate moguls for super cheap just by releasing a data report, okay? And you all, no matter where you are, if you're in Iowa, if you're sitting there in North Dakota, wherever you are, you have access to two things that most people in real estate don't, right? The average consumer doesn't know things about data, and they're not going to compile a report. And that's something that can be super interesting to them. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your MLS and you're going to start finding the average sale price, whether that went up or down compared to a year or a month ago, whatever you want to do, and you're going to get that data together. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make an infographic, because like we discussed earlier, these infographics are actually consumed 30 times more likely on Pinterest, on Facebook, on your blog, on your website than just regular text. You're taking the strategies that Trump and Barbara used to use to arbitrage the media and taking them into a 2016 environment where people are consuming things via visuals and media on the web, right? You're taking what worked to be successful and bringing that into the modern environment. And you can see this with agents. We'll link back to an Easy Agent Pro blog where we just featured 5 or 6 agents doing this very, very well at a high level. You can see the infographics they're doing. You can see how they have hundreds, sometimes thousands of shares, and that's thousands of views for your brand, for your face, for your real estate business that they're getting for free that their competitors simply aren't. And it all comes back to the infographic. So you get that data from your MLS, run the numbers, put it on your calendar to do this once a month, and then you can head over to a site like Fiverr. Now, what's Fiverr? Fiverr is a website where you can buy services like graphic design and logo design and video intros and all that for super cheap. You can also buy infographics. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your data, and I'll link up a few different vendors below. I've tried one of them once about a year ago. It worked fine. Do your own vetting and everything. But you can submit that information to them and start getting these infographics. Then you can throw them on your website, on Pinterest, on Facebook. You can boost them on your Facebook page and start getting those views that otherwise would have gone to your competitors coming back to your site. The best part is that the media, if you read this book, you'll learn that the media craves data. Just watch the political election going on in the United States. It's nuts, right? They just you can start any sort of basketball game and they're going to say, well, that was the first time someone shot a three-pointer from halfway past the half-court time 3 times in a row since 1997, right? They're going to drill that data down at a ridiculous level that it's insane. Media loves data. In real estate, you own the data. None of those reporters really own the MLS data like you do. So if you start releasing these reports monthly, quarterly, whatever you want to do, you can even do a yearly report that's way in depth. You're going to start having the data that you can then give to those media reporters in your area. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn and say, hey, so-and-so, I saw you wrote about this great real estate article in 2014, how North Dakota homes fell by an average of 4.1% over 2013, right? You can reach out to them, say, hey, I saw this great article you did. Here's an infographic with more data that you might find effective for a future post. Let me know if you want a quote, right? It gives you the leverage to leverage your brand, reach out to the influencers in your community for use Fiverr, it's for $5 a month, right? Anybody can fit that into their marketing budget, right? If you're boosting posts on Facebook and don't have an infographic strategy, you're kind of putting the cart before the horse. These things are really effective right now, and you can make them for cheap, and as a real estate agent, you have the data. So stop listening to me do this. Click the links below. Get started making your infographic. Just get a solid 10 data points how real estate prices in XYZ neighborhood changed over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Show people that now's a great time to buy. Make that infographic. Then you can either reach out to me at tyler@easyagentpro.com. That's my email. Put that on your website, send me the link to your website. We'll be sure to share it. I'll give you feedback, criticism, whatever you want. We'll show it on social too. Then you're gonna head over to social media and share it there. I guarantee you this strategy just works. I mean, you can read this book, you can read the newspapers, you can see all the data points that are pointing to the media just loving data. And then once you start becoming that source for the data, you become the person who arbitrages the media, gets free media for your brand, all because of a simple infographic you produce every month. So start your Corcoran report. Reach out to me, Tyler@EasyAgentPro. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like these tips, you find them motivational, and do it. Just go there and do it. The links are below. It costs $5. You already have the data. Just go do it. I know this will be one of those things that you'll look back on and, maybe you've tried blogging before, maybe you've tried social before. This is one of the easiest social or blogging things you can do in 2016 to have success. So I'm Tyler with Easy Agent Pro. Thanks for checking out this video. Good luck with your first infographic.